NINJAKEES! Yo ninjas, welcome to the show. My name is NINJAKEES. What is your name? Ah, that's a cool name. So, today we're gonna draw this drawing. So, sit back, relax and enjoy. Yo ninjas, so right here I am drawing some random boxes. So I'm just picking 9 boxes, like random boxes. I'm drawing them not symmetrical, like perfect squares, but more like random from out the loose hand. Some random boxes to later fill them in. So for the boxes I try to emulate a type of look, to make it look like a type of a portrait type of thing. So it, yeah, like a portraiture, so you can make it look like that. So after drawing all the 9 boxes, I have made some extra lines in the boxes to make it look more like a portrait. And then after that adding some details between the lines, so it looks like yeah, a type of wooden type of thing, like a real portrait yeah, list, you know, like the borders of the portrait. So while drawing this portrait you have to keep in mind, because I draw the lines with ink, so you have to let the boxes dry so you can yeah, not smudge the other boxes while you're inking. So sometimes in between you have to wait a bit for the boxes to dry, so you can go there with your hand. I know you can rotate the paper, but for filming this video I want to keep one perspective of the paper, and also the reason I don't rotate it, so it wouldn't look like too much of a confusing thing on film, you know. So when you're watching, it is like from one point, so you can clearly see what is happening, so you don't see me rotating all the time, you know. So that's a kind of yeah, annoying to look at, I think. Well, maybe if you don't mind it, you can let me know in the comments. So for the next videos then I can do rotate a bit more. I drew these boxes really random because I wanted to make something in them, something I don't clearly know yet, but I have an idea what I want to put in them. It is not like I know exactly what I want to put in each of these boxes. Well, I do know what I want to put in them, but I still have to figure out how each one of them looks like. So in these boxes I want to take the main character of my story Party Time. His name is Curly Skullhead, and I want to have 9 different types of emotions in these boxes he can have as a character. Well, there are a lot of more emotions than these 9 that he will have in the story, but these are just some examples that he could have on his face. So these are just like a simple base, or not really a base, but to give you an idea of how he can look like. Also, while I drew these faces, I sometimes have to think a little bit how they are going to look like, you know, like emotions. So sometimes when I am a bit stuck, which face I should draw where, or in this box or in that other box, I sometimes look in the mirror, how you can have different emotions on your face and emulate that in your own pieces in these boxes, so you can translate it into characters you want to have them. So sometimes I know, for example, the first few boxes, like the first few or something, I knew exactly or have a clearer idea which faces I want him to give. And for the later boxes I still have to think a little bit about it. So I also looked a bit for some inspiration in books, in other mangas and stuff like that. What types of emotions already exist and what types you can emulate in your own pieces. So I want the expressions on his face to be clear, so that's why I try to exaggerate them a bit more, so you can clearly see what the emotion is, or yeah, something like that. So for inking the faces, I like to use the G pen. That's like a manga type of pen, where you can make the lines thick and thin, how you press it, so it has like a pressure type of thing. And then you can decide the lines yourself. So you have so where the line needs to be thicker, you can just press a bit harder, and where the line needs to be a bit thinner, it can be a bit more thin. Also for the ink, I like to use the liter black, number 6. Well, for the numbers I don't really care as long as the ink works. Right now I use these ones because I could get them cheap in a batch, so I could get a lot of them like at the same time, so I have a bit of stock of them. But right now where I got them, they are sold out, so so also the reason why I bought a lot of them, so yeah, so that I have some supply behind me, so for later, you know. But for the ink itself, it does not really matter to me which one I use, as long as it works the way it needs to be working, because these inks can be used with Copic markers and fusion them into one piece. And yeah, as long as the ink can do that, it doesn't really matter to me which type of ink it is. Also, scanning this ink, it works good enough, you know. Also on the computer you have to apply some effects digitally, but that's for another video. So yeah, and for this piece, the most fun of this piece I like is when the inking is done and I can apply the colors. For the colors I use Copic markers. They are really enjoyable to color with, at least in my opinion. The thing is with this, with these markers, they are really expensive, but you might already have known that. So in my opinion, you have to use them wisely for which things you want to use them. And because party time is my main goal right now, this is for me a great way to use them for the right reasons. Because I can also use them for random illustrations and sketches and stuff, but I feel like I'm wasting them because it is for drawings that I don't care too much about. I mean, it's more for practice then, but I want to use them for the real deal, you know, for the real drawings that are necessary, or yeah, contribute to the main goal, you know. Well, of course you can use the Copic markers also, yeah, for some illustrations, and then later put a lot of illustrations in a book together, like all your color Copic markers illustrations or something like that. Then it's really useful, of course. Then you have like your own type of art book with your illustrations. But yeah, this is just my opinion, you know. If you like to use them, yeah, just use them the way you want to use them. Yeah, it's like this is just how I want to use them. So yeah, let me know how you like to use them or not use them, or rather color digitally, you know. Just yeah, it's all personal preference. Because yeah, you have also you can also have similar effects digitally with yeah, a Copic marker type of effect. I don't know yet how to use such a thing, so I still have to figure that out. Maybe you know it, then you can type it in the comments. But with the Copic markers, it's like you can fuse the colors with each other. So when you color and let them dry up, and then color again with other colors and other colors, then you can like merge the colors with each other, so you can get different types of effects. So I mostly like to use first the flat colors when coloring, then adding some shades on the faces or where it is needed to be done. And then yeah, when I add the tones, shades of the illustrations, then after that I like to use some other colors that presents the light. So you have like you have warm colors and cold colors. So for the warm colors you use a different color than for the cold colors. So so like the way the light is shining, where it comes from, then where it comes from for the lights you use the warm colors, and for the shadows, the darker spots, you use the cold colors. For example, for this piece I like to use more yellow colors for the lights. So I use the yellow Copic markers to highlight or yeah, light the stuff. And then I use the purple, bluish, more that type of color for the shadows. So you have like a balance between the two. So you can clearly see that you have used two colors for different types of reasons. And yeah, with these Copic markers you can go endlessly, keep on yeah, putting them on. But after some time you have to decide for yourself, like, okay, this is enough right now, I like the way it looks right now, or it is like good enough, you know, because you can go on for times. But yeah, sometimes you have to decide when a thing is done. And after I am done with the Copic markers, I like to use some of the highlights, some white marker inked type of thing, like a ink pen, to add the shinier parts, the more white parts, and also use some of the white pencil to make some of the parts a bit more light, highlighted, or yeah, more bright. So those are just the last final things to be put on for finishing the piece. Also for the background I used the blue color because it kind of makes the flesh, human flesh type of colors stand a bit out more. Because like when you use for example orange or yellow for the background, the face would be more come to the front. So yeah, so the reason I used blue is to make the face appear more. Also for the portrait of the faces of the boxes, I like to use the yellowish color to give it like a golden epic look, like a golden frame. Yo ninjas, thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe and all that good stuff, and see you the next time. Kees out!
Yo ninjas, also check out the other episode of NINJAKEES.